They're good. They're good.
I'm a time traveler from the year 2025, and I've come here to kill you, Hitler.
Oh, not again. I'm never gonna have enough time to finish these paintings with all of these time travelers trying to kill me.
Well, I'm going to succeed.
Before you pull the trigger, can I just ask why? Why do all of you people want to kill me?
Isn't it obvious? I'm a progressive, a liberal, a fighter for social justice. And you are a fascist who implemented a reign of terror. And while the effects of your policies devastated the world for decades, soon we will be able to take back the White House, and we will be able to use the government to force people to follow our great ideas.
You want to use government power to force your ideas on the populace. Me too! That's fantastic!
What? No. Ugh. You and I have nothing in common. What I'm saying is there are people in our time with dangerous ideas, and we need to silence them.
Silencing those who disagree with you. I do that too! Oh, wunderbar! Oh, the Nazi movement will not die with me.
Don't give me that! I'm enlightened, and you're as bad as... well, as Hitler. Listen, what I'm trying to say is we are very close to implementing a utopia, as long as we can get rid of some certain undesirable people groups.
Yes, like the Jews.
Yes, like the Jews. Oh.
So, in the future, you also do not like the Jews?
Well, no. But we don't believe in segregating all the races like you do. I mean, except for, like, graduation ceremonies. And dorms. And hiring practices. Oh, and admissions policies. That sort of thing.
I, too, am a fan of the segregation. I'm sorry, I have to ask, is this a real firearm, or is this some kind of toy for kids?
It's a flare gun. I'm trying not to support America's toxic gun culture. I'm a firm believer in gun control.
Gun control! This was one of my ideas, too. Ban them from the undesirables. Yes, look here. Oh, and your shirt. This is an organization founded by Margaret Sanger. Yes?
Wait, you know about Margaret Sanger?
Jawohl, of course. Oh, she's such a lovely person.
No. She's a fighter for reproductive rights, for women's empowerment,
and the eradication of undesirable populations by means of eugenics. Brilliant lady, very inspiring. I must use some of her ideas in our socialized healthcare system.
Socialized healthcare? That's not your thing. That's our thing.
No, it's very much my thing. Did you know that Nazi means National Socialist German Workers' Party? Nazi is just more catchy. Nazi. Just rolls off the tongue.
No. This can't be true. This has to be some sort of mistake. We are nothing alike. You're Adolf Hitler, evil right-wing fascist dictator, and I'm a feminist restorative justice advocate. And a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian? Me too!
Okay, I am so confused right now. I came here with a clear goal in mind to kill the most evil man to have ever lived. Besides Ronald Reagan. But now that I'm meeting you in person, you're not at all what I thought you were. And your painting is actually really good. What do you call it?
I call it Ein Reich ohne Juden.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but it sounds beautiful.
It does, doesn't it?
Hey folks, welcome to the program. Do us a favor, will you please? Will you please lift a finger and share? Rumble, share, like, follow this program. This is going to be a conversational broadcast specifically for you. We're going to kind of do a gut check, a reality check. That how are we as a nation doing? Thanks for everybody tuning in over on Instagram. Dare to be super happy. and other people. Yeah, you can watch us across many channels. Of course, our base channel is always Rumble, right? Rumble. If you're on Rumble, you're always able to jump to our locals by clicking that red join oval. That's how people find our locals. Additionally, we're now back on YouTube. 4.5 years of block. Been a long time. Anyway, folks, share this program. We're going to kind of open it up for the discussion of a lot of different things going on. Today's program is brought to you by the fine folks at Goldco. Here's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you, please, to go to JovanLovesGold.com and request your free gold and silver kit today, because now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver. Something's coming, folks. I've always given you a heads up, but I just want you to get informed. It doesn't cost you a thing to fill out the form, okay? Not at all. I just want you to understand what you need to do, because it's going to come. It's not if, it's when. You need to figure out how to protect your money with gold and silver. Please do. Do not ignore it. And by the way, you might even qualify to get up to $10,000 in free silver for a qualifying account. Here, I've got one to make you feel better. CB Distillery. We're wrapping this up. And when we do this, it flies off the shelves, right? You know about those nights when you just don't sleep? Well, the next day you're dragging, exhausted, and everything just feels harder. That's where CBD from CB Distillery can make a real difference. It's not just sleep. CB Distillery has all kinds of solutions that work with your body, help with stress, pain after exercise, even mood and focus. And that's all made with the highest quality clean ingredients, no fillers, just premium CBD. So imagine waking up rested, folks, and enjoying your day without those nagging aches and pains. That's the real win of CB Distillery Solutions. That's why over 2 million people trust CB Distillery. You can ask people in chat right now. Here's my go-to, right there, the CBD Relief Stick. This stuff is the bomb. I'm telling you, it's the bomb. So if you're ready for better sleep, less stress, feeling good in your own skin, well, try CBD from CB Distillery. And right now you can take 25% off your entire purchase. Visit CB Distillery. Use promo code Jovan. That's cbdistillery.com. Promo code Jovan, cbdistillery.com. Before we get started, I've got something for you. I want to show you. It's very interesting, right? You know, I live out in the wilds, between family places and stuff, out in the wilds and the mountains. You're always having to deal with predators and stuff. About 8 years ago, a Jack, a donkey. Jack is one, Jenny is the other, right? So about 8 years ago, a Jack named Diesel went missing, right? And most people don't know that you can put a Jack or a Jenny in with your livestock, even when it comes to mountain lions, right? And I've got video of it. One day I'll drag it back out. You're going on pack animals, and here's the mountain lion following the dogs because it wants one of the dogs. And the mule, in this case, which will do the same thing, when the mountain lion jumped for the dog, the mule just kind of turned and caught the mountain lion right by the ass end of the tail near its body, right? Caught enough meat and tail to hold on to it. And then the mule proceeded to start slapping. Yeah, spack, 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 back and forth, this mountain lion, until it had crushed the mountain lion skull. Well, these kind of animals, jacks, jennies, mules, etc., do this to protect your livestock. Sometimes you're inadvertently left open. One of the things I've been working on is, one of our family places got hit by Helene very hard. So it devastated a tremendous amount of timber, and fences aren't up and all kinds of stuff. And so you leave your livestock exposed. Well, we have this flame Siamese. They're very rare. A flame Siamese is like a Siamese cat, but it's basically a ghost white with blue eyes, but its tips, its tail lines, etc., all flaming red. So they're called a flame. Heading in, arriving, getting at the studio, looked down where his name's Obi, OBE, which stands for Old Blue Eyes, because it's hard to call a cat Sinatra, right? So not even 30 minutes ago, he was sitting right here with me because I was warming him up. And it was kind of rare walking up past his box because he sleeps outside, that he really didn't wake up, and look at him. He's just caked and covered with blood, just right. My first thought was basically, oh shit, he's dead, right? But it's Obi, OBE, stands for Old Blue Eyes. I grab him. He's kind of limp, but he's alive. And evidently he got into something last night. It looks like I can only think it's a smaller bobcat or a raccoon or a skunk. A skunk will catch your cats by the head, and they will literally pop their skull and eat the brain. You'll find, I know it sounds weird, but you'll find the cat that's skull cap cropped open, brain gone. Anyway, Obi, pretty bad shape, few puncture wounds all over his face, and just caked in blood. So he would have been sitting here with me, but he basically, he probably sat there for a few hours in a cold night. So I, wrapped him in towels, holding him, letting him use my body warmth to get warm, and I could feel his body temperature coming back up. So I think he'll be okay. I hope. Now he's just zonked out, which is a good thing. It looks like he got caught by the face, got away, and then it caught its arm. And you can imagine a cat twisting and fighting. It really probably tore up his left shoulder. But I think he'll be okay. He only has one deep puncture wound. I'll keep a watch on that. But the reason I tell you that is, while fences and stuff are down, you can't let your livestock guardian dogs basically roam free. That's even worse, right? And so the land's a little bit underprotected until fences get in. But the reason I tell you that is part of the way you manage land. And if he'd have been sitting here, I'd show you. Boy, he just looks horrible. But anyway, in it, you use certain types of animals to protect animals. One of them is a mule or a donkey. I want to show you some footage. This Jack's name is Diesel. He actually disappeared 8 years ago, just vanished. Nobody had any idea. Well, he was recently discovered alive. Check this out.
I just bumped these elk, and there's a donkey with them.
So if you take a look at that, you'll notice that those elk that you're seeing are primarily yearlings. And so here's what's happened. That donkey has integrated with the elk. And what I can tell happened, now seeing where he is and now seeing the herd side he has integrated himself among the elk, and he's nannying the young from the mountain lions and the bears. And so when you think about how many years he's been gone, he's evidently raising the young elk and keeping them safe. And you're right. Did he lose his ass? No, he didn't lose his ass. Now his ass is in line. You're 100% correct. Watch this again. He has assumed a role inside the elk herds. And if you look at the size of the herds, he's raising the younger elk and protecting them.
I just bumped these elk, and there's a donkey with them.
Anyway, isn't that cool? His name is Diesel. He's a jack. There is now no need, you can't run out and retrieve them because the elk always come to the property and stuff. He's going to now identify his home as with the elk, right, and be miserable. So he has actually found his additional purpose doing, isn't that awesome? Doing one of the natural things that God made these animals do. Speaking of animals, let's do a gut check, a reality check on how we're doing, okay? On how you're doing, how we're doing. How do you think our nation is doing? You're going to have a few extra minutes to share this, and then we'll get started.
We've seen our days unfold. It's now all possible. Kill our walls with gold. It's our home again. Let them show thee that which we cannot see. Never let them hurt me, even when we're asleep. Oh, we know they'll act out their unholy duty to be constantly over. We've gotta break the woke hold. 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 Never let them hurt me, even when we're all asleep. Show a new
Warning. The following program has been rated Gilligaff and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you? Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians? The elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media, and the gender-confused emotional socialist snowflake crowd. Cut the crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, JovanHuttonPulitzer. He's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics. They all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, JovanHuttonPulitzer.
Okay, folks, welcome to the program. We're going to do a gut check, a reality check. How are we doing as a nation? I do this every now and then just to kind of talk about different things and to the gut check. Have you replied to me in chat? One of you asked in chat, did I have a picture of Obi? Warning, trigger alert. Here's Obi laying on the floor. He's ripped up pretty good, right? Got him wrapped in a bunch of extra towels. Right? You're looking at his face, his snout. He lost pieces of his nose, it looks like. Thankfully, it didn't get to his eyes. There's some damage on the edge of his eyes, but he's doing okay. He's still so heavily caked in blood after the program. I'll be able to work with it, all the back of his head, etc. But that's poor Obi. You have to understand, when you live in the wild, you're gonna lose animals you love. You know, I can remember not too long ago being at this one place, an owl getting a hold of one of the white Peking ducks, a female who was a really great female. The owl got a hold of her, and I could hear her screaming, and I'm hustling, trying to get down to the creeks and the canyon. And I can just tell she's screaming for me, and she's still being held. And, finally it stopped. I just couldn't find her. It happens. That's one of the horrible things of living remotely that you have to deal with. It happens, right? Comes with it. Comes with the price of living in the wilderness. And sadly, it happens. It can be anything. It can be raccoons, it can be skunks, it can be wild hogs. Hogs are brutal. Very smart animals. Some hogs, I just want to let you know, are dumber than stumps. Speaking of dumber than stumps, hogs, did you see this post by Rosie O'Donnell? Now, I want to do some logical thinking. She posted this online, says, we're not asking, we're shutting it down. Mass blackout, November 25th through December 2nd. The largest economic blackout protest in U.S. history begins November 25th. No work, no projects, no spending, no events, no restaurants, no restaurants. They mentioned restaurants twice, so I'm pretty sure Rosie came up with this meme herself, because that's a big part of her life. Anyway, it's true. Okay. And so it says, it's not a blackout. No blackout. Prepare for the impact. To prevent spike spending before and after the blackout. Now, pay attention to this word. To prevent spike spending before and after the blackout, we ask that all participants purchase goods needed from community-owned stores and markets leading up to and after the dates. This helps with sustained impact and keeps our money out of the mega businesses' pockets. Coordinated national pushback, maximum local impact. And ironically, she's calling for this. And as you know, she's applied for her citizenship in Ireland. Now, let's do a little bit of logical thinking about this. She's calling for a blackout, right? November 25th through December 2nd. What's wrong with both her call to action and her explanation of how to do it? Did you catch it? I've always told you, liberals never think anything through. Never think anything through. What is wrong with her particular analysis? Did you catch it? Get ready. Let's say you're going to participate in this event, and we're going to do maximum economic damage to the system. Now, it's technically Thanksgiving time, which is okay. No problem. But she thinks it's going to be maximum damage. Okay? Now, it's kind of stupid because you're probably going to find out that they're going to claim tremendous numbers of people participated. Well, it's Thanksgiving. Duh. But let me give you another one, right? Kind of racist calling it a blackout too. Why didn't she call it a whiteout? Because she's got white privilege. Anyway. You ready for this? Here, get this. She gives you one little instructional footnote. Buy your shit in advance. November 25th to December 2nd. And she says, in order to prepare, buy your shit in advance. Which really means, will you hurry up and buy it all, and then let's play like we're protesting? Truly, think about it. What an idiot. What a total idiot. Basically saying we're going to hurt the system. We're from November 25th to December 2nd. We're not going to go to work. We're not going to spend. We're not going to do projects. We're not going to do events. We're not going to go to a restaurant. We're not going to go to a restaurant. We're not going to go to a restaurant. Not going to go to a restaurant. And in order to do this, I want you to go out now because we'll just say you have a month. You got a month and buy all the shit you need now. So we heard them then. Do you get the failed operational linear thinking logic in that? Go stock up now so we can hurt them later. All you did was move the money, if people actually follow it, a little bit earlier in the timeline, but you idiot, they still spent the money. She gets an E for effort, and she gets an E for eating everything within sight. But that's the logic of Rosie. And we're kind of doing a gut check. I want a gut check. I want a reality check of what's going on. And what these people don't realize, especially what liberals don't realize, is everything that is free, the reality is paid for by someone who works. And it's amazing how many young people don't understand that. They have no concept, because we don't teach economics in classes anymore. They have no concept only to realize that they, along with us, are the very ones that pay for everything. That pay for everything. And so in this program, we're going to kind of do a little bit of a gut check. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to see what you're thinking in chat. I want to see how you feel about everything going on. The first thing to put in chat is, do you think we're doing better? Somebody said Rumble had an issue. Sometimes if you get a Rumble issue, I know there's a lot of hacking on Rumble, right? Just hit refresh. There's a lot of hooks in the system and stuff. Just hit refresh. But that's why you want to follow the multiple channels, just in case anything kind of goes wrong in the broadcast, because they're mucking with it all the time. Now, I know how you feel. As we're talking about this, I know how you feel. Right? I know what you're thinking, because it's too much. You're probably thinking this. And by the way, you remember the little ditty we did, "Whose side are you on?" You remember that little ditty? Here's another anthem that you're probably thinking.
I don't give a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore.
Kind of catchy, isn't it?
I don't give a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore.
Fuck anymore. It's a very catchy song. It's kind of a dangerous philosophy to live by. Here, I'll play it again. I'm gonna put it on a two-part loop. So hang on. I'm gonna loop it twice. Get ready. Sing along.
I don't give a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck anymore, fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck anymore. A fuck anymore. Fuck anymore.
Vug anymore. Kind of sexy too, right? Now, there's both pros and cons to that. By the way, I put those on my Telegram, right? I did it and put it on my Telegram because, and by the way, there's only one Telegram of me. T.me/Hun like a horse. I mean, T.me/JovanHuttonPulitzer. No specials, no whatever. And yes, you think that's going to stick in your head?
I don't give a fuck anymore. A fuck anymore. A fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck anymore. A fuck anymore. Fuck anymore.
So I put that for you on my Telegram. And it can go, and people are going to say, I'm going to be singing that at my desk all day long. That's great. Yep. So there's your new earwig, right? And so maybe that's a theme song for the program, but I'm telling you, there's a subtle difference in this. You got to understand the subtle differences, right? I know people, I have people in my family that just don't give a fuck. Fuck it. That's just their thing. And they're just apathetic and say, fuck it. And look what we got as a country. That happens. I'm not using that in this context. I'm using that in this context as, by the way, take it, right? That when people post stuff, conspiracy, or, well, yeah, we got the machines and the PCAPs and it was the Slavics. You like that, Slavovich? Slavics. I just saw your text, or post, so I just said that. Anyway, but you understand what I'm saying? Lift it, post it. Post it. Let them know what you think.
I don't give a fuck anymore. A fuck anymore. A fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck anymore. A fuck anymore. Fuck anymore.
Even goes with the hands. So yes, feel free to lift it. Now, so many people have the wrong, I don't give a fuck anymore. We can't walk away. So it's a different type of fuck. See, having this attitude of fuck it, I can't change anything, I can't do anything, or fuck it, it doesn't matter to me. That's what got us here. Now, I'm not promoting that kind of fuck it, right? I'm promoting, right? And you're right, Slavic. It kind of sounds like a Slavic traditional tune, doesn't it? I'm kind of promoting, don't give a flying fuck what the system tells you. Don't give a flying fuck what others think. Fight, right? Fight hard to stand in truth, and do not worry at all what people think about you. Our lives, and I'm not saying President Trump will say that. It's different. President Trump does say that in many ways. When he says, I don't give a fuck anymore, he's saying that about the press. Just when you saw him call out CNN about him pardoning the crypto guy, and he basically tells the reporter, who the hell are you? You don't know shit about crypto. Shut up. You have no idea. You're an idiot kind of thing. Now, it's that kind of fuck, right? And so you got to have the attitude of not giving a fuck anymore, of focus only on what moves the needle, focus on what matters, right? And just fight. Because you know what? Somebody's saying, oh, I can't believe you follow that guy, or I can't believe you used a cuss word. How ignorant and short-sighted is that? Things like, you can see it's the machine, not the machines that did it, it's the paper, and here's how, but it's the machines, and I just like that person. You got to get to the point where you say, I just don't give a fuck anymore about you. And so I've packaged that for you so you can share it, right? You can share it, because we got to get to the point to where we use this in our favor. Now, with that said, it's kind of an attitude thing. Now, number one, it's the attitude that I've always had, and I'm okay with it. And remember, at the top of the program, Dilligaff, do I look like I give a fuck? That's why it says Dilligaff at the moment. Other people don't validate me. Other people don't validate my work. Somebody's going to comment on forensics when they don't even really know what forensics are. You just got to let that go. And the way you let that go is to weaponize that attitude that you just don't fucking matter, right? Why would anybody carry on a debate on election integrity with somebody who just raised millions of dollars in DC on election integrity, but has never really been in the trenches? Doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. And so here's a little different ideology, and it probably sums me up pretty well.
Don't fuck with a fucked up fucker that doesn't give a single solitary fuck. This motherfucker's so far gone on the fuck off scale. They're practically a goddamn legend in the art of not giving a single flying fuck. Their fucks are so non-existent, you need a fucking microscope. Each step they take is a monument to the majesty of not giving a fuck. They walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts, charged with the sheer unadulterated power of fuck off. People whisper, "That's the one, the motherfucker who ran out of fucks to give." So if you ever find yourself with half this colossal titan of fucklessness, just remember, you're in the presence of royalty, the kind of royalty that sits upon a throne of broken fucks, waving their scepter of shit not given with a grace that make lesser beings weak. But beware, for challenging such a fucker invites a shitstorm of indifference so fierce, it'll make you choke on your own goddamn fucks. And let's be real here, you can't afford that shit. Nobody's got that many fucks to spare. Keep fucking shit up and spread chaos like a boss.
Is that not true or what? And I'll give you a prime example. And I used this before. Emerald Robinson, cute, a reporter posting from her position over at Lindell Network that she's upset that all the other networks and big influencers didn't interview her to explain what's wrong with our elections. Now, let's think about that. A person who has only heard from people who don't do it, I've never been interviewed by her, only job in my mind is to spread misinformation and to keep people on the machines. Somebody who really has no expertise complaining about, well, they didn't listen to me and I'm upset about it. This is what I mean. Adopt a different level of standards. Now, somebody will say to me, well, there's a cuss word in there, this cuss word, right? And yes, I said I'm not trying to say it, and so it's in recordings now, so I don't have to say it. But let me just point it out to you. And I'm not sure why people see this. Think about it. People are handed a script on TV to read. People have a mission to earn their job. Here's what you got to read on TV as part of the news station. And you actually think, right? You actually think that them talking or telling you something comes from a basis of expertise. I want to let you know, how stupid is that? Now, the opposite of that, just total ignoramus stupidity, is to actually think they can educate you in simple minutes or whatever, that they can educate you. See, we have our experts backed up. And the trap we've fallen into is believing people from an expert level who aren't even experts, and they just feed us stuff, and we don't really look at the sources. We don't really understand the information. So when I do this little ditties about not giving a fuck, having no more fucks to give, what do you expect, quote unquote, we'll just say Emerald, who probably attacked me for this, right? Even if she said anything bad, does it matter? Does it matter? And that's where we have to get. I want you to know, nobody, including me, if you're going to call this media and say I'm in media, whatever, nobody in media matters. Nobody, including me. I do not matter. Now, let me tell you why nobody in media matters. And this is the big lie. You're the only thing that matters. That's it. That's the whole secret to every bit of this. You are the only person that matters. And let me tell you why. It all comes down to your ability to discern the truth for yourself, not what somebody else tells you. And if somebody's trying to tell you a truth, it better make sense. They better show you why. They better demonstrate why. And they better have absolute proof, right? Ironically, isn't that what she calls her show? But you understand what I'm saying? Nobody in media of any kind matters. It's like Mike Lindell and you're trusting things about technology. He could maybe educate you on how to take a lot of phone calls and how to do a lot of texts, but that's it. Look at lawmakers. They don't even do their own emails most of the time. But when I analyze this situation, I realize nothing matters but you. And if you are still consuming your information based on somebody just reading a script or just trying to be relevant versus actually showing you how it works, all you did was swap allegiance to the same damn system. You realize that, right? CNN would no more have the full forensic audit findings. They wouldn't do it because they can't allow it out. Same thing happened for Lindell TV. All you did was swap allegiance. I want you to think about that. And that's when I play this, that's what that attitude is. And I think more people have to get to it. Do you really think a team saying we're going to help America and we're patriots and we're all for the cause, funded by a man who won't cover the truth, who lied to you and it was proven in court, don't you understand that trickles all the way down to the team, but yet they're your expert and they're going to come fix your community? Let me ask you a question. How fucking stupid is that? I want you to think about that. There are 3,800 or 400, whatever it is, counties across the United States of America. And the people with the 6 polynomials, the godnominals, fractals, pterodactyls were paid to go to all those counties and tell you, hey, look at here, look at here, look at this, at this. All they did was get somebody in jail. And the actual mathematical odds of their work working is 1 in 80 billion. But you think that's your expert. Why? Because you like this person over here, and that must be an expert because they traveled the country. How stupid is that? I just want to find out, how stupid is that? And that's where I've really got to in all of this stuff. How stupid is that? That we basically, God bless Donald Trump pulling everybody out of the, fake news system, but we just jumped into another one. All it did was replace it in a vacuum. Our entire existence has been, I think, for decades. Yeah, quadratic equation, polynomial permutations. If somebody has to speak like that to you, they think you're a fucking idiot, and you'll hold them up because they use big words. It's stupid. All we did is swap. That's all we did. We swapped. And as I step back and I look at this stuff, I go, wow. Now I'm speaking strictly conservative. strictly conservative. Somebody, and I'll just use an example, is a lumberjack, right? But it's going to tell you about what's going on socially and economically. Okay, let's play that out. You have a farm. You hired somebody to take down the trees in your front yard. You're going to go out to your front yard to the guy cutting the tree and you say, can you tell me what I need to do to save this country? And will you please tell me what I need to do to make sure my family is fiscally fit and we're fiscally fit and we save this country? Tell me how to do that. You would no more do that. But yet, because you see them through quote unquote a broadcast and they got a following, right? Whatever. Somebody saying Lindell TV has now invited the White House press corps along with InfoWars. What is that? What is that based on? Is it based on credibility? Serious. This is a very come to Jesus moment on it, right? Is that based on credibility? I want you to answer honestly. Okay, so you're saying it in chat. It's your topic, not mine. Right? And that's what we're talking about. We're doing a gut check. We're doing a reality check. We're doing whatever. So here's my question. We'll just run with that example. Lindell's team has been approved for White House coverage. What does that actually mean? And is it based on fact anything? Right? Think about that just for a moment. Well, number one, it's only based on one fact. And what is that fact? CNN and all of them are bad. And from a press standpoint, the White House can trust Lindell TV to report what the White House wants to report. But why the credibility? Because Mike has donated a lot of money and Mike has a large mailing list. That's it. And you need to understand that. The metrics are still the same. It's about reach. And then about reach, it's about who has the reach that is going to get the message I want out. That's it. Is it really based on somebody who is going to tell you the irrefutable proof or truth? Is that about it? Right? I just want to let you know. Is that how you're going to allow the filter of your information? My standard's very simple. Don't believe me, audit me. So what I do is I take the stance. Here's what I'm saying. Here's where it comes from. Here's the history. Here's how I can prove it. Now make your own decision. But that's not what journalism is. That's what teaching is, but it's not what journalism is. And so you just have to understand that. You just have to understand that. And so I'm kind of saying, including me, trust no one. Trust no one. And you got to ask, why do you operate in this mode? This is a gut check, folks. Somebody who told you for years, we got PCAPs of every county. We'll show you every vote that was swapped. Here's how it is. All the states are coming in, which was crap, didn't do. And you find out in a court of law, they never had the PCAPs. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that a material flaw? I just want to know, isn't that a material flaw? Here's another material flaw. It's the machines, it's the machines, it's the machines. Well, let's see your evidence. Well, here's what I think happened in theory. Well, that's not evidence. And on the other side, yeah, it's the machines, but then you find out in a court of law, there's no enforcement. So why would even attorneys or people tell you it's the machines when a court of law, they know there can't be any enforcement, but they tell you we're going to get this fixed? That is a material disconnect. I really think in all of this, trust no one. And I'm telling you, not even me. If I can't show you, if I can't give you the facts to where you can make your own decision about things and research, don't follow me. But at the same time, you can't be such a weak warrior like somebody saying, well, there's a cuss, there's a cussing, he's cussing, there's a cussing. That also is a weapon. Don't you understand? That is a weapon. If they can get you to tune out because of a singular cuss word, fuck, do you understand they won? Do you understand they won? Do you know why? Because they tuned you into a cuss word. You think you're being Christianly and godly, but all they did was cleave you from the system. That's it. Which means they won. And you'll basically say, I'm smart. They're not going to call me. I don't fall for the mainstream calm. But then you go, Jovan cussed. Ah! Think about that. So when I step back and look, I realize that what really happened in 2020, yes, our eyes got open. And yes, we walked away from mainstream media. But in a power move, the people that also push us around, all they did was fill the vacuum. That's it. All they did was fill the vacuum with their own. I hope you understand that, because when I play this saying this is where every one of us has to get, then you understand why I can call out the right, the left, the whole bit. I even called out President Trump. Stop with the shit about bank your ballot. You are either laser focused on what is actually truth, right? Or you've been captured by the plan. This is what I mean when I share this.
Don't fuck with a fucked up fucker that doesn't give a single solitary fuck. This motherfucker's so far gone on the fuck off scale. They're practically a goddamn legend in the art of not giving a single flying fuck. Their fucks are so non-existent, you need a fucking microscope. Each step they take is a monument to the majesty of not giving a fuck. They walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts, charged with the sheer, unadulterated power of fuck off. People whisper, that's the one, the motherfucker who ran out of fucks to give. So if you ever find yourself with half this colossal titan of fucklessness, just remember, you're in the presence of royalty, the kind of royalty that sits upon a throne of broken fucks, waving their scepter of shit not given with a grace that make lesser beings weak. But beware, for challenging such a fucker invites a shitstorm of indifference so fierce, it'll make you choke on your own goddamn fucks. And let's be real here, you can't afford that shit. Nobody's got that many fucks to spare. Keep fucking shit up and spread chaos like a boss.
Now, gut check. Some fucking reality. Does DC or any politics anywhere function or operate on truth? Put it in chat, yes or no. Does DC or politics anywhere, right, operate on truth? And by the way, there was nothing in there offensive to God. Let me tell you why there was nothing in there offensive to God. And I'll tell you why. See, when both Jesus and or God in the Bible was teaching, don't blaspheme, you got told that was, don't use the word God damn it. And that's not what it means. And that's not what was taught. What was taught was, don't say you're holy and Christian and try to put yourself out of there as pious, right? And hold yourself up at that when you do something behind the scenes. It's kind of like wearing your cross on the outside of your shirt and then telling everybody you have the evidence and you get caught in it and you don't. That is what was meant by that, right? That is what was meant by that, right? And that's the whole thing. So many things have suppressed us over time. Both God and Jesus, I'm just letting you know, were holy fucking warriors, not passive pacifist. You do understand that, right? You do understand that. And most people miss that. I often, and folks, this is just a gut check. That's all this is. This is just a gut check, a reality check. But I want to let you know, Jesus didn't fuck around. And you know who Jesus didn't fuck around with? Now, I want you to think of this because it's a true truth. Jesus's problem was never with the people. Ever. Jesus's problem was with the very people that said they were holy, godlike, and kept the ways of God, and he knew they weren't, and that's who he went after, and he told the people, you have a direct connection with God. Be accountable to yourself. People don't get that. And all that happened in the church is to kind of swap positions. Oh, you can't say that. That's not good. Don't you use that word. It's all control. It's all control. The very person that your faith is probably foundation on, if you're an Old Testament follower, I mean, New Testament follower, right? Is based upon, oh, nice, kumbaya, be peaceful, turn the other cheek. No. That's not what changed mankind, and that is not what saved mankind. And that's just the truth. And we have been pulled, even in that, just like in elections, so far away from the truth. The end result is, you ready? We're conquered. That's what it is. We're conquered. Let me give you another analogy. You know how in a movie that they can show a cross to a vampire? And you get that shit? Who does that really work on? Let me ask you a question. When you hold up that cross, who does that really work on? You, to make you shut the fuck up? Bow down? Tuck your head? You ever thought about that? Simple fact. I'm giving you an analogy. Put it in chat. If you think I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. We'll discuss it. That holding up of the cross is not to ward off evil. You've been taught that over time. And I'm not degrading the cross. I'm just telling you that holding up the cross was primarily used to shut you the fuck up. Just a question. Does God need the cross to make demons bow to him and run? Or Jesus? No. So that symbol of the cross, right, is to make you comply. And in that compliance, you've learned, I can't cuss, I can't do this, I got to turn the other cheek. Oh, don't be too aggressive, be nice, be kind to everybody. That's never what it was. It's for the holder of the cross to have power over people. That is it. And wearing a cross on the outside of your clothing is no different than celebrities talking about, I donated this much money and it was important and saved the children and whatever. All it is social signaling. Now, I know you may hate this. I know you may hate it. You may even get pissed at me. But I've already left you off the hook a long time ago. You do not have to like me. Just audit me. That's it. If I tell you they stole this many ballots, or here's where they inserted the ballots, or they just this, I better be able to show you. There's only one person that knows in your life what you're really like and what you really mean. And that's God. And he doesn't require you to wear that cross. God knows what's in your heart. God knows what's in your soul. God does not need you to wear that cross to prove to him you're for God. He knows it. So who's that for? It can bring you comfort. That's great. It can bring you comfort. That's great. But most people use it for other people. And we never take the time to just understand why do we adopt certain habits? Why do we do certain things? Most of it's because it was how we were taught and what was expected of us, but a damn sure a lot of it's for show. This is what I mean, and I'm going to show you some news stories we can kind of do a gut check on. Look, I understand this firsthand. Some people think I'm being blasphemous. That on my body, right? That on my body, for me, because this is how it is, for me, is when in Judaism, when you even write the name of God, that's the holy name of God, I am, right? Period. It's to remind me, because in Judaism, when you write the name of God on anything, you can't throw away that piece of paper forever. That's how we have most of our history. They're found in Jewish trash heaps, or not even trash heaps, Jewish storerooms that have thousands of years of documents because it's then considered sacred. That's for me to remember. Don't throw it away. Because I was the one that needed reminding. Don't throw it away. Not anybody else. Me. And man, when I just look at everything, and I'm just trying to be honest, folks, this is me. You can take it, you can leave it. And I'm telling you, this is me. This is only about me. I cannot fathom. How did we end up, and I'll just give you Arizona. How did we end up in the entire state of Arizona? In the entire state of Arizona, coming to the defense of Kari Lake and her stolen 2 elections, that there was only one singular attorney left standing who would or could take the case. That attorney was somebody that got inserted into the Arizona audit by the powers that be, who immediately came out and said the Arizona audit was a grift. There was no evidence. There was no ness. How can you not recognize that playbook? What are the real odds of that? See, when I look at that, I see the operational playbook in play. Leave one attorney they know they can move, only have him standing in the state, they controlled it, have him basically say the audit was a grift, it found nothing, which means now he can't bring in that evidence, because what's he going to do? Bring in that evidence to trial? They're going to say, well, you just said on social media that the audit was shit and crap. Now, why are you presenting? See, it was all a plan. It was all designed to be that way. Every bit of it was designed to be that way. And then you find out the guy that brought him in was the big treasurer for the state, which is the one that tried to not get the audit, but he's the one that brought him in. And that guy ultimately came up being the speaker for the audit and then hid the numbers. Think about that. I struggle with this right now. I'm just telling you the truth. I struggle with this right now because when I look at everybody, I find so few that are laser focused on the truth, and this is what the truth is and can't be controlled. Mulcahy, Cowboy Logic, Steve Gardner, etc. There are so few that literally call it like it is and can't be controlled. There's a lot who will repeat what the system wants, and they get rewarded for it. They get paid for it. Now, here's a very interesting thing. You might have noticed this little switch. You notice Turning Point USA, prior to Charlie's murder, kept on saying, bank your ballot, bank your ballot, bank your ballot. Post Charlie's murder, they're no longer bank your ballot. Now, does that have to do with Charlie's death? In a way, but here's how it has to do with it. They raised more money than ever to fund their organization. And I'll give you an example. I think it was Sharon Osbourne. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I've heard. I can't confirm it. But I think Sharon Osbourne, with the death of Ozzy, stroked a $20 million check to Turning Point. You know, it's a way to evade taxes and stuff, but I want you to think about it. So what happened to Turning Point? They finally got enough money in their system. They didn't have to rely on the GOP. And once they didn't have to financially rely on the GOP's money, you saw the dialogue changed. Subtle, right? But think about that. In fact, several Hollywood celebrities, I think there's been 3 that have each stroked $7 million checks to Turning Point. But watch that. One was a narrative, they got paid for it. It pays for the organization and keeps it going. As soon as what happened to Charlie and the system came in, meaning, went out because the people came in and said, hell no, we're not going to let this die. And they got the money they really needed to operate. They say, screw that. And now they tell you the truth. Folks, that's the system. That's the system. You know, a college professor who salary was about $49,000 a year prior, a wannabe politician and stuff, all of a sudden gets plugged in, gets a $300,000 windfall, and then gets paid to be on the road and has a new career and considers himself a broadcaster, now makes more money than they made as a teacher. Of course, they're only going to do what keeps them on that radar. And to be on that radar, they got to do what the system says. The things you hear me talk about or endorse are things I believe in and do firsthand. And I'll tell you, nothing changed in our world when we opened our eyes to the stuff of mainstream media. Nothing changed other than we realized it was fake, but we put it on that party, and the uniparty just gave us new people to suck in. What makes you think that a whistleblower, let me give you an example. I know personally the whistleblower who blew the whistle years ago on Comey and what was going on. If they would have paid attention, to her, Comey would not have been able to be used for what ultimately happened to us during the Russia stuff. She blew the whistle. They destroyed her. took her pension and everything. She ended up having to go to work at different times at Home Depot and Lowe's. You know what the system did? As soon as they found out she was working there, FBI picks up the phone and tells Home Depot and Lowe's to terminate her. She gets a contract to stop child trafficking and work on security. As soon as the system found out, they called that nonprofit was doing it, had her terminated. That's a whistleblower. Now we have whistleblowers. Oh, I'm an FBI whistleblower. I'm blowing the whistle. And they have 2 million followers on YouTube, million followers on Twitter. And you think that's an actual whistleblower? Think about that and use linear logic. No, what they did was they took somebody they can control, rose them to power, funnel money to them a different way, and tell you that that's somebody who's a whistleblower outlook. But I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. Can you not see these cons? Can you not, with your own eyes, see these cons? Everybody who promoted it's the machines and I infiltrated an Antifa call. Everybody in that circle. Hang on one second. Hold on. Everybody who put forth, we got the PCAPs, or I infiltrated an Antifa call, okay, got rewarded with $196 million in stock by being able to go public. Even though that stock's not as high as it was, it still clicks along at $60 million in value. And they have no viewers. None. They have no viewers. It's tiny. It's negligible. It's nothing. But think about this. They claim they're a network. But where do you really see it? Rumble. No, Rumble's the network. But I want you to think about that for a moment. You actually think it's an independent broadcasting network going to bring the truth. And where do you watch their fucking feed? Rumble. No, Rumble's the network. They're no different than any one of us that turn on a camera and send it to a platform. But they got rewarded. Do you think that's a coincidence? Do you think it's a coincidence that the people that said, oh, I infiltrated an Antifa call got millions of dollars in stock? But no more disclosure about, well, Dominion and them didn't go after them. How does this not make sense to you? How does it not make sense to you? These are the things that I look at, and I can't make any sense of. When somebody comes to you through a channel, Rumble, anybody can do it. You can do it right now. Go set an account and start broadcasting. But they convince you they're a network. Or now get this one. Here's another one I just can't fathom. You know that if you're speaking the truth, the system freaking shuts you down in a heartbeat. Do you know that? Am I right? Just a question. If you're really selling the truth bombs and you're really giving the information, and you're really putting it out there, you know the system shuts you down. Now let me give you another one. Oh, we developed an app where you can speak the truth and you can post the truth, and you can even post evidence of election fraud. Do it in our app. Go download it on Android and iTunes. Android's Google controlled, iTunes Apple control. Are they going to allow anything in system? They'll find a way to shut it down. Are they going to allow anything in system that actually reveals the truth? You know why they allow it? Because it's bullshit and it won't move the needle. And it'll keep you pacified because you think somebody's doing something. They'll tell you, submit in your app. If you see something going in an election, submit it to your app and do it. When the court rules, that's considered spam and cannot be used in court. Quote, precedent, ruling. You can't tell where it come from. You can't even really tell if it's a real person. The court says that's just spam. It's gibberish, can't be used. It's not an affidavit. It's just like the GOP did. You sign an affidavit in 2020? No, it's a statement, not an affidavit. They called it an affidavit. They have you make a statement knowing in court it can't be used. And every one of those statements have disappeared. It only becomes a tool of the court if it's actually a certified jurat. But see, they don't tell you that. That's what makes it a legal complaint to the court. No, do it here. Complain. I just want you to think about that subtle manipulation. The GOP came in and said, give us an affidavit. You go to a site, you click, 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 click. Okay, it was bad. I saw something. You've helped save America, an affidavit. When they know, it makes it immediately not allowable in a court of law. If it really brought forth evidence, and it really cleaned it up, you have to ask yourself, would the system allow it to happen? And the answer is no. I know this firsthand because I can sit with President Trump, go over the things methodically. He can tell people, do them, here it is, get on and get on it. And then understand it got killed because Lindell informed people that, full forensic audit was really just a scam and they did that. And then it's dead. Even the president can't control it. That's all I'm saying. You thought you did something because you reported something on an app. All you did was throw away your testimony, make it not usable in court. Did you actually look online, fill out a testament, a jurat, go down to your bank, who'll probably do it for free, and get it certified and then send it in? The answer is no. How did Georgia get to dismiss those boxes and boxes and boxes of shit of people saying, this is what I saw? Here's how. It's not in the form the court will accept. Did the people that got you to submit your statement and call it an affidavit tell you the truth? No, they didn't tell you the truth. Now, what happens is you get more pissed at the system, which is what the system wants you to be, is more pissed. You should be pissed at the people that did it because either they were fucking ignorant and it's your fault for following them, or they did it specifically, like Jenna Ellis. They did it specifically knowing it can't be used, but you think you did something, so you stood down because you did an affidavit. It never was an affidavit, folks. And it doesn't matter how many of those boxes you take up to a courthouse or a state house. They can't use them. They're in the wrong form. This is why I call it a gut check. We haven't done, as a people, a lot of gut checks. We have very few people, very, very few people who are actually telling you, here is what has to happen. And so I don't buy this shit. There's a ex-FBI, recovering FBI addict, whatever, and I got 2 million. No, that's just their new iteration and what the system wants you to believe. And that is how the system works. It is all a con. Now maybe you understand why I want you to be bulletproof and don't care about that stuff. Care about what you know.
Don't fuck with a fucked up fucker that doesn't give a single solitary fuck. This motherfucker's so far gone on the fuck off scale. They're practically a goddamn legend in the art of not giving a single flying fuck. Their fucks are so non-existent, you need a fucking microscope. Each step they take is a monument to the majesty of not giving a fuck. They walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts, charged with the sheer, unadulterated power of fuck off. People whisper, "That's the one, the motherfucker who ran out of fucks to give." So if you ever find yourself with half this colossal titan of fucklessness, just remember, you're in the presence of royalty, the kind of royalty that sits upon a throne of broken fucks, waving their scepter of shit not given with a grace that make lesser beings weak. But beware, for challenging such a fucker invites a shitstorm of indifference so fierce, it'll make you choke on your own goddamn fucks. And let's be real here, you can't afford that shit. Nobody's got that many fucks to spare. Keep fucking shit up and spread chaos like a boss.
Now let me ask you a question. I want to play a hypothetical for you. Think of Braveheart. People are fighting for the cause, for truth. They're all lying in the field. You're on your horse and you come running down the line and you basically say, "Let's go get these motherfuckers." And somebody in the group goes, "Oh my God, how can you use a cuss word?" Now, let me just ask a very simple question. Is that dumbass focused on the fight at hand? Or did something very trivial hijack their mind, which took them off the end game, and they basically feel offended, and I can't be part of this. They said the word fuck. Your Braveheart. They get all of those people lined up. They are focused on, we have to fix this. You're going down the line. You're charged in the moment. Let's go get these fuckers. And a certain amount of people in that group go, "Oh my God, he cussed. That is just so disgusting. That is so ungodlike." Simple question. Is that person focused on the fight? Is that person a warrior? Is that person who will see the battle through with you in battle, putting your life on the line if they got offended by that word? Fuck no. And that's the truth. But see, nobody teaches critical thinking anymore. Somebody can be sitting for a place known for giving you the truth and direct, can be triggered by a word, the very thing you know the left is, and they peel off because there was a dirty word. How about this? I can't share it with my friends because it has a dirty word. Now, is that about me or is that about you? That's about you because you think you're going to be judged and you've been trained properly. Oh, they will think bad of me that I follow this guy. I want you to think about that. This is why I say we have to get to this no give a fucks level. Because what that person thinks about you, if you share me and they hear me say fuck, they're not in the fight. And if you care about what they think, you're not in the fight. It's birds of a feather, baby.
Don't fuck with a fucked up fucker that doesn't give a single solitary fuck. This motherfucker's so far gone on the fuck off scale. They're practically a goddamn legend in the art of not giving a single flying fuck. Their fucks are so non-existent, you need a fucking microscope. Each step they take is a monument to the majesty of not giving a fuck. They walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts, charged with the sheer, unadulterated power of fuck off. People whisper, "That's the one, the motherfucker who ran out of fucks to give." So if you ever find yourself with half this colossal titan of fucklessness, just remember, you're in the presence of royalty, the kind of royalty that sits upon a throne of broken fucks, waving their scepter of shit not given with a grace that make lesser beings weak. But beware, for challenging such a fucker invites a shitstorm of indifference so fierce, it'll make you choke on your own goddamn fucks. And let's be real here, you can't afford that shit. Nobody's got that many fucks to spare. Keep fucking shit up and spread chaos like a boss.
And this is the world we live in. And we've not been taught to look at it right. We have been beat down, browbeat, shamed, pushed around, told what to think, told what to feel. And you know what is interesting in all of that? You were never told what to do. You were told what to think. Now you know all of that is crap. Why do you think I call my show Cut the Crap? It's all crap. But they don't give you the tools to understand why is it crap? How does it affect you? How does it affect your life? And how does it keep us slaves? Folks, every single fucking one of us are slaves. Period. I'm just telling you, we are slaves. It's sad. It's sad. But all they figured out was let them think you're working for yourself. Let them think you're creating your own life. And we'll take money from them. We don't need tribute. Fucking we'll get it from them. That's all it is. But yet you follow people who flail out there how Christian they are when you can even look for yourself if your eyes are open. The whole thing was a con and a lie, but you forgive it. Why? Because they tell you they're good. I'm just telling you, don't trust anyone because they always tell us that all the signs are there that we're enslaved. I'll give you an example. Listen to this little ditty. Listen very closely. This is Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera interviewing Ilhan Omar. Listen closely to the words.
But you say there's no debate about whether Trump's a racist, and a lot of people would agree with you on that. And in fact, there's been an explosion in the number of anti-Muslim, far-right, white nationalist groups in the US over the past couple of years. Your own state of Minnesota experienced a record number of anti-Muslim incidents in 2016. You yourself, I believe, just a few weeks after your election victory, I think you had a cab driver call you filthy and ISIS and threaten to remove your hijab. How much do you hold Trump and the rise of Trump responsible for this explosion of US Islamophobia?
Oh, I would actually come very short of holding them exclusively responsible for the rise. I think when you demonize and dehumanize, it is easy for people to commit acts of violence against those individuals because they no longer see them as a person, as someone who has feelings, who's worthy of respect. And I think that is where we are moving away from the idea that we are supposed to be a welcoming nation.
A lot of conservatives in particular would say that the rise in Islamophobia is a result not of hate, but of fear, a legitimate fear, they say, of quote-unquote jihadist terrorism, whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. And so if fear was the driving force of policies to keep America safe, Americans safe inside of this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
But most of the funding and attention, even under Obama, obviously went towards Muslim communities. One of those communities is in Minnesota, your state, the Somali American community in Minnesota, where I think over the past few years more than 20 young Somali Americans have left to go and fight for ISIL or Al-Shabaab or one of these quote-unquote jihadist groups abroad. That's a real threat, obviously. No one's pretending it's not a threat. So what do you do about it?
But I mean, I think, like I said, the focus of our policies should be about keeping Americans safe, keeping us domestically safe, and where we actually find a solution is looking at our foreign policy, looking at how we are engaging with the members of these communities, and the kind of rhetoric, right, like that is being spewed out of leaders within our city halls, within our state capitals, and within our nation's capital.
Some would say that's true. There's some really bad rhetoric coming from politicians, security leaders, etc. But also a lot of bad rhetoric coming from Muslim community leaders, imams, etc. Right. Is that fair?
I think both of those statements could be true, and I think it just goes to show what happens when you have segments within communities that are using fear and hate to mobilize their base. And it is important for us to actually have a conversation about what kind of communities we are trying to build and what this nation actually stands for.
In an interview last.
Okay. Now here's your pop quiz. First, I want to show you a comment. This is for YouTube. Socrates. Man. I guess you want people to think you're an old, wise, incredible scholar. Let me pump that up. I don't want you to miss this. Let me go to my style. Let me change it. Socrates. I'm going to give you a chance. You can see it right here. I don't know why I can't, at the moment, drop stuff into the YouTube chat. We haven't figured it out. Whatever it is in the console that doesn't make it work. Socrates, screenshot this. Screenshot this. I am always interested in talking to people that are ancient and wise. I mean, what else are we supposed to believe? Socrates telling us they're ancient and wise. I love ancient and wise ones. I do. And I'm not afraid to have discussions. Here's the discussion for Socrates. Okay. On my channel, what is the purpose for this channel? What happened to 24/7 voter fraud coverage is news surrounding how to secure a vote. How is this just not another reaction channel talking about daily nonsense? There's thousands of these channels. What are the Jewish thoughts about the SAVE Act proposed by Chip Roy? Reveal thyself. Join me. You can pop over to Rumble and get the link. It's easy to do. Join me, Socrates. Join me. I'll gladly have that discussion with you. Here's Socrates. What Socrates has learned from all of this. This is what they've learned. What's the point of this channel? What happened to 24/7 voter fraud coverage and news surrounding how to secure the vote? By the way, if I can have them locked for me long, because I don't use the term voter fraud, but okay. How is this not another reaction channel talking about daily nonsense? There's thousands of these channels. What are Jovan's thoughts on Save the Act proposed by Chip Roy? Okay. Come on. I'll discuss it. You had a lot to say. I don't want to cut you off. I want you to be able to say it to the world. Because I'm not a politician. Right? Now, you got to understand, Socrates, when you come on, most people will never face me, will never discuss it. I just want you to understand just a little bit about me.
Don't fuck with a fucked up fucker that doesn't give a single solitary fuck. This motherfucker's so far gone on the fuck off scale. They're practically a goddamn legend in the art of not giving a single flying fuck. Their fucks are so non-existent, you need a fucking microscope. Each step they take is a monument to the majesty of not giving a fuck. They walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts, charged with the sheer, unadulterated power of fuck off. People whisper, "That's the one, the motherfucker who ran out of fucks to give." So if you ever find yourself with half this colossal titan of fucklessness, just remember, you're in the presence of royalty, the kind of royalty that sits upon a throne of broken fucks, waving their scepter of shit not given with a grace that make lesser beings weak. But beware, for challenging such a fucker invites a shitstorm of indifference so fierce, it'll make you choke on your own goddamn fucks. And let's be real here, you can't afford that shit. Nobody's got that many fucks to spare. Keep fucking shit up and spread chaos like a boss.
So even though I'm a titan of fucklessness, come on, let's discuss it. Because what I'll do is I'll give you your voice. And you obviously have something to say. You don't program my show. So I don't really give a fuck what you think I should be covering, because that's why my name's down here. But I will allow you to have your voice heard if you're one of these people that are actually real and you truly, truly, truly want to have a discussion. If you really want to have a discussion of those things, and I told you, to be able to go back in history with one of the very people that is heralded as one of the most wise, measured, incredible people in the world, all I'm going to say is, man, if you come on and you're wearing a fucking cross on the outside of your shirt, we're going to have to go to fisticuffs. It's bad enough you consider yourself Socrates, but come on. I think that would be great. Now, let's go back to Ilhan Omar. Is Ilhan Omar a bad person? Put it in chat. It's a very direct question. Is Ilhan Omar a bad person? Yes or no? Put it in chat. Okay? Most people will say yes. Now, the next thing is, what makes her bad? What makes her bad? Okay? Put it in chat. What makes her bad? You say she's destroying the country. You say it's her religion. You say it's sin. You say it's not speaking the truth. You say it don't like America, not telling the truth. Here's, for me, what makes her bad. See, I think she's doing her job because she's a figurehead. Now, it's a very, very simple move. See, you actually consider her an individual person. You consider her mind captured. You consider all of these. But here's the deal. What she is doing is her job, which she gets paid for. Now, what do? You fucking focus on her. I just want you to think about that for a minute. This is very subtle, but this is the level of awareness we have to do. Even Mengele, you're right, was doing a job. People don't even think that. Some say her allegiance to Somalia, marrying her brother, has nothing to do with it. No. You know what it really is? She's doing her job. She is doing exactly what she is paid to do. Now, when you understand she's doing a job, this is very subtle. And I hope I'm going to find one other piece. This is very subtle, but you have to understand these subtleties. Hang on, I'm looking at one other place. You have to understand these subtleties, and you got to look at them through the right filter. Okay, now hang on. Please hang on with me, because this is when you, if you actually learn this and you see it, everything changes for you if you actually see it. She is somebody owned by the system. Okay? Now you're saying it, oh, she has a high net worth. She gets paid a lot. Well, she has a dual citizenship. Okay? Or she's an opportunist. No, it's something more sinister. Do you see how all the comments are technically about her? Let me show you what it looks like when people, vast people, spread across all different places, how you can tell they're doing their job.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like.
Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
We are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over this country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core."
What that makes obvious is what we see in the world, what we see as news, what we see in politics are fucking paid actors. We just think there's something else. You say she's trying to destroy America from within. No. See, you're keeping it too isolated. That's not the issue. She and all these other lawmakers are no different. This is why we got to do a gut check and a reality check. If you keep on thinking that Ilhan Omar fucking matters and is the problem, you're already lost. You're lost in the dialogue. You're not connected to reality. Because here's why. You think she's a lawmaker. No. She is an inserted, paid actor doing a very well-paid job. By the way, and she doesn't give a fuck about what you think about her. You know why it doesn't bother her? You know why they keep on doing it and going through the system? Because they don't give a fuck what you think. See, there's a high value in not giving a fuck. And that's why Soros or all these other people, they don't care because they don't give a fuck. Now, here's the deal. You're led to give a fuck about them. And so what happens is their con works because you're focused on them. So they laugh all the way to the fucking bank. They laugh all the way to the bank because you bought into their acting job. She doesn't care about destroying America. I don't agree with that. She doesn't care about destroying America. She cares that she came in as a fucking immigrant, if you want to call it that, and she's now worth $60 million. That's what she cares about. She's paid well. She can do any fucking thing she wants. She figures the money insulates her. But see, even when you think she wants to destroy America, I realize we're wrong because we're not seeing it for what it really is. She doesn't want to destroy America. Something bigger wants to destroy America. Now, let me ask a question. You know, none of her immigration shit is real or true, and all this other shit is real or true. Do you think that Republican opposition would have picked that up when she first started running? You better believe it. Yeah, she's helping destruction, but that's not the point. See, what I'm saying is they will let us hate on individuals all fucking day long because that's all your mind can compartmentalize. That's all your mind can compartmentalize. Most people can't really open it up and see the big ass picture. It's got to be right here in front of them. So they'll give you somebody to hate. They'll give you that focus to hate on, and they fucking pay them well. But see and there you go. This is where it is. They will keep us chasing squirrels. Where you've got to get is to understand the system does it. And yes, you hate these people. And that's what the system wants you to do. Here's what you need to learn. Ilhan Omar doesn't fucking matter. What matters is the system that put her there. Because I'm telling you right now, they didn't miss the opposition intelligence on her. They fucking let her in. They all approved her. Now, why would they approve something like that? Because it's a racket to keep us in chaos. And they're willing to do that, to create that little chaos in your area so you'll focus on the one person and you never see the big picture. Ilhan Omar doesn't matter a fuck. Because even if you got rid of her tomorrow, you know what didn't change? The system. And so I am now convinced. It's just like playing a villain in a movie. These people are playing a part. And they get paid so well for it, they're fucking willing to play that part to the hilt. And you know why they don't care? Because their check cashing is fucking big. Yeah, and it's just a use program. They just use her. And they own her. She can't turn back on the system. She can't say, well, they paid me to do it, because she'd be dead. She's captured. But she's a fucking puppet. So it's Schiff, McConnell, all of those guys. All of those guys. Everything we're seeing is an orchestrated play to make you think people are battling out to do what's right. While you wonder the whole fucking time, why aren't you doing what's right there in front of your eyes? Because it's a battle for your mind. They will lie to your face. They will go into court about a defamation case. They will lose. They will be ordered to pay a fine. They will come out on the airway. We got rid of the machines. We beat them. We got rid of the machines. Think about that one. Did you think about that one? That happened right in front of your fucking face. Go to court for telling lies, which I told you were lies from the beginning. I told you it's the machines was a lie. I told you the PCAPs were alive. I told you all going overseas was a lie. Go into the court in a sophisticated, set up, orchestrated play con job to make you think they were fighting bad companies. Get found liable. Be ordered to pay a fine. And then come out and tell you, we won. We won. See, I told you the machines were bad. We won. We fucking kicked their ass. We won. The machines were bad. We got it done. Right? You heard that, right? Right? You heard that in front of your own face. Swore. You glossed over it because there's a cross hanging on the outside. And you watched the court play by play, which, by the way, if it's one of the most important things in the world, are voting, and if it's critical and the system basically was all a sham, it was the big lie. Let me ask you a question. Why didn't they broadcast it? Just a question. Supposed to be the monumental showdown of the century. Why didn't they broadcast it? It's all orchestrated. That's my personal opinion. It's all fucking orchestrated. Now, okay, the person went in. They didn't win against the machines, but they got fined. They got fined to pay a fine. Who paid that fine? You did. Don't you think? Let me ask you a question. It's just a really stupid question. Somebody told you, I used all my money to fight this. Say, all my money, I'm broke. I can't afford anything. How'd the fine get played? You paid it. Bat Quarter wants to know, Cross on the outside or Star David on the outside, which is worse? Which is worse? One's a religion, one's a people. Do you not understand the difference? One is a religion, one is a people. One is a religion, one is a heritage. Being a Christian is not your heritage. I mean, that's a pretty simple one, but okay. Words matter. Facts matter. I have literally come to realize we are all caught in such a horrible orchestration that until we can make everything fall away and focus, we're not going to win. So it's really kind of a radical concept. Stop hating on Epstein. Won't get you anywhere. Stop hating on Schiff. Won't get you anywhere. Stop hating on McConnell. Won't get you anywhere. Stop hating on Hillary or Obama. Won't get you anywhere. You know why? They're fucking paid actors to do a job. The one thing you should hate, the one thing you should hate, okay, is the system that enables this play to play out. See, if you stop any one of the players, nothing changes. If you recognize what the system does through the use of players, then you focus on the system. I've come to realize all of this individual hate is a distraction by the system. By the way, Bat Quarter, come on. We'll discuss it. Make sure your camera's on, your audio's on. Come on. What I've realized as I've watched through election integrity, I can be sitting in the president's office, be all done. He's hyped. Let's get it done. And the person that's assigned to it says, can you reduce this to a paragraph so I can understand it? And I've done such deep soul searching over all of this. Just like I can show you that clip from Elon and you can just add it. And then I realize we've been trained to do that. And it's so ineffective. But see, we think we're doing something. We think because we call them out, we're fighting. I want you to think about that. Ready? Ilhan Omar's an example. You can fight Ilhan Omar, okay? Ilhan Omar. The system knows what they've now done is they've captured you in a silo, and that silo is Ilhan Omar. Because they know they pay her a lot because she's fucking expendable moment in time. So even if you did anything to get rid of her, boom, the system doesn't change. Because what they can't have you do is realize it's the system. And I'm telling you, it's such a subtle move, and it's a brilliant fucking plan. A fucking brilliant plan. If they can make you identify with these people and focus on the person, you miss that it actually took the system to do it. It's fucking whack-a-mole. You're right. You miss the problem is not the people. The problem is the system. And the system are all play actors. See, they don't want you to focus on the system, which is why to Socrates, you see how interested Socrates was in this, couldn't challenge it, won't debate it, because it's all propaganda. I sit back and look, man, I was so fucking captured early on in this. I was just a citizen stating my observation through technology, right? Of how blatant it was to me seeing it. I came out, it fucking shocked the world and the system glommed onto me to make me kind of part of them. They did it so I would think certain aspects were a team, never was a team. It was about keeping me under control. It was all about control. All the same people involved, by the way. I soul search these things day and night. I soul search and can only judge myself by moving the needle. It's the only thing I know. Get results. That's all I know. Get results. And I will do whatever it takes to get results. Even if that means working myself to fucking death or dying, I will go to get results. But as I step back and have kind of a unique perspective working at X level over here, or this level behind scenes, this level over here, and communicating with you, my family and friends, every single day, I think I've finally become very aware of how it's really done. And it's because they give us people to hate. Now, my breakthrough was, I always told you for years, go back, audit me, Soros is not the problem. I told you, I'm thinking that Soros is a play actor in this. Then another person they can't control, Elon, comes in, and they find with Doge, they find out, holy shit, it was fucking USAID money he was spending and turning around and making money on, which is our money. We paid for it. And that really caused me to do some very serious soul searching about everything. About everything. To the point, I asked simple questions like, why wouldn't somebody cover the absolute truth about what happened in the 2020 election on their podcast to show America? And it's only for two reasons. They're paid and told not to, and they're driven by that's their source of income. Or the second part of it, they're afraid of it because they are afraid of what people in the system will think of them because they're actually doing the truth. And that's how it works. And when I realized that, when I really realized looking at the breakthrough of Doge, wow, it became very apparent that it's even bigger than we think. They have given us thousands of people to hate. They've given us thousands of symbols of hate. Why? Because they got to appeal to so many people as possible. Think about this. They've got to give you so many people as possible to be distracted by, that you're caught up in the distraction because you chose the one that tripped your trigger. And even as horrible as child trafficking is, which affected my fucking family, I understand that's another little nibble they hold out here that keeps us from looking at, fuck, the system does it. And it was kind of like a breakthrough. Now I'm going to give you another, but I got to ask you a question real quick. All of these Antifa, right? If you truly had to describe as a person, not as a theme, not as a character, but all of these woke kids, right? Their piercings, their colors, their all this other stuff, right? I want you to just think about this for a minute. Not that they're bad and they hate America. That's not what I'm talking about. If you had to describe, quote unquote, an Antifa person, somebody who is actually Antifa, and you were describing their character, their qualities, slackers or whatever, lazy, ignorant, whatever. If you had to describe their qualities, I want you to put it in chat. Give me as many adjectives as you can think of if you were describing a true Antifa person. Trans, wankers, disorganized, fucking idiots, lame, losers, whatever it is, lost soul. Okay? Put it in chat for me real quick. If you had to describe a true Antifa person, what are they? Bored believers, somebody says unemployed, on drugs, lost souls, trans, put it in there, right? SOBs. I'm not talking about what they do. I'm talking about what they are. They're liberal lefties, but I'm talking not jihad followers. You're going too far. I want to know their characters, just like if you were describing somebody for a job. If you had to recommend an Antifa person for a job, how would you describe them? Maybe that's a better way to do it, right? Them, not what happens to them, not what's being done to them. You finally getting it. Easily influenced, smells like piss, they're disorganized. Describe them. Give me the characteristics of them, right? Okay, they're tools, they're angry, they're just followers. Not what they do. Them. Low IQs, sheep. You get what I'm saying? Okay, now you got it. They don't have critical thought processes. So we got people who are inherently lazy, mama's boys, wussies and pussies, snowflakes, sheep, led by the nose, right? Useless fucking idiots. Okay? So now you have basically the essence of the individual who happens to be an Antifa member. That's what I was getting at. The essence of the individual who happens to be an Antifa member. Okay? So you're quickly realizing these are people that can't hold a job, right? These are people that are inherently lost, needy, spoiled. You get it? You follow what I'm saying when I say describe the person as if you were recommending them for a job and telling the truth? Okay. Now with that, I want to show you some video infiltrating Antifa from the inside and taking a look at their ground game. So this is infiltrating Antifa. A lot of them say smoke meth. The true things smell like piss because they can't even clean themselves. They're just fucking lazy, right? Misguided. Now you understand where I'm coming from. I want to show you behind the scenes somebody going into an Antifa camp. Use the description of the person, not the movement, not the thing. It's a person who just happens to be an Antifa. You've now described the person. Tell me what the disconnect is as you watch this.
It's cool. So we're actually allowed to use the sidewalk for once time. Look at this. Holy crap, look at this. Hey, you hungry?
I don't have
I'm just looking. I mean, there's a lot of it. It's awfully organized. It's pretty nice. Pretty well done.
It's community.
I know, but don't get your grubby, ungloved hands on them.
Good job.
And guess who, Mr. Fuck you?
Hey, Amanda, how you doing?
No, actually, I needed it to be zoomed out a little bit more. I needed a better light. Why would I need to do that? I won't shine the light in your face. What do you mean so much? Dude, trashy. Come on, man.
Why are you acting so trashy? Why are you recording people without asking their permission? You do know that's fucking weird, right? Like, not.
You don't think any of this is weird. You don't think 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 any of this is weird. This is all normal. Do you know what time it is? It's a Tuesday night. Huh?
We know what time it is. We know what we're doing. What are you doing?
Good.
Why are you being so crazy, man? You do this for money, right?
I'm doing this for money? If only you knew how much it cost me to be here. If only you knew how much it cost me to be here. It cost me tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands of dollars. And I will be here for quite a long time, don't you worry.
No, I said an ass wipe. Why don't you ask people's permission before you record them? It's trashy.
Because you don't have to.
Okay. Now get ready. You said they're lost souls, they're lazy, they're dirty, they're apathetic, right? They're disorganized. Now, how does that video disconnect with how you would describe each of the individuals? See if you can put it in chat. How would that video, because you're looking at medical supplies, all organized, all bought in bulk, all being laid out, all being there, even down to giving the furry outfits, which are about $50 a piece. They're hanging there for people that take one. Okay. Now, how does that jive with people that are apathetic, lazy, dirty, can't hold a job, right? I think this is what people miss, right? What you're missing is it's a well-oiled and funded machine. And by the way, that is the point. They are a well-oiled and funded machine. Those people are taken care of. Those people, just like our politics or media, are paid actors. That's the whole deal. But see, we don't see that. We see the individuals. There's no other explanation why they have that. But what you have to understand, we can hate Antifa. We can even hate the freakazoids in Antifa. But our hate and focus is in the wrong place. Because, and that's the power of hate. That's the power of the system giving you somebody to hate. You see that fucking blazed haired bicolor head, piercings and shit, and it's like, fuck you out. But we missed the whole point. We missed the whole point. Those people too are being used. Those people too are being misled. Those people too are being controlled by the system. Those people too are slaves to the belief systems they've been fed. What that means is we're in the same boat as them. We just happen to be on different boats. but we're all in the same fucking ocean or the same fucking sea. The system has captured us all. Doesn't mean that only conservatives are captured. No. Liberal woke minds are in fact captured as well. And just like they push us around as pawns, they're pushed around as pawns. Probably hates too much of a word. I'm just telling you, we are all captured in one very big orchestrated play. That the way they keep us captured is by giving us things to hate. Because if we can hate on the things, we don't hate on the enabler that really makes it happen. You're right, Zod. Zod's in Australia. Shit, they go through it all the time. Same shit, different buckets. I have come to realize that whether it be Black Lives Matter or Antifa or us and Patriots, we're all fucking conned. We're all controlled. We're all moved around on a playboard, and you will swear you don't operate on the feelings level. You will swear I'm not wagged like the fucking left by my feelings. Fuck. Yes, we have. Because we can get convinced because somebody says they're a patriot that they're really a fucking patriot. We think shallow things that just because somebody wears a cross on the outside of their shirt, they're a good hero. We are all caught. Every single person on this planet has been captured by slavery. And we're being taught to hate each other, to hate the hyphen, and to focus on that. And while we don't focus on that, while we're all gathered in chaos, they're fucking robbing us blind, using us as earning battery units. We might not be a little watery, greasy egg pod, but they have us. They have us. And what they do is they distract us by giving us things to be distracted by. Riots, fools, idiots, parades. And it's really, you're right, it's really hard to fathom. But I'm telling you, it's the truth. When I just look at it, because you take that organization out. What is his Antifa? You take that organization and support out. It doesn't happen. They're too fucking lazy. They're too disorganized. Give you somebody who says, I'm going to save the country and I'm doing it and we're going to get rid of the machines and we fixed everything and we have all the stuff. You bought into that. It made millions stand down because that person's so good, they're going to do it. When it was all of us to begin with. Everything's about us. Everything's about our belief system. Everything's about who do we give our allegiance to. Everything's about what do we focus on. And when I just really analyze it in game theory and chaos theory and I look at it, I realize, wow, it's even bigger than I thought. BLM doesn't matter. Antifa doesn't matter. Patriots don't matter. Please take it in the context I'm telling you. Heroes don't matter. Because the hero we should focus on gets ignored. And that's, you're the hero in this play. You're the savior in this play. God and Jesus are not coming down to heaven, from heaven, to clean this up. It's not how it works. It's never worked that way. The very Savior you've been looking for to save us from all this shit looks back at you every time you look in a mirror. The very person who can change this is the person you look at the most in your own day. The very person who can change all of this is the only person you control, and that's you. It's so fucking ironic, isn't it? You want to just shake these fuckers. That's why I named my program Cut the Crap, because you want to grab these motherfuckers by the lapel and go, fucking knock it off. And then I realize, fuck. If we ever just realize we're the heroes and we can't actually control this, because it means you're responsible for exactly one person. That's it. You're responsible for exactly one person, one ethic, one moral. Be true, be ethical, be a fucking warrior, and be responsible for yourself. Yes, the more people we get to think that, and if they truly focus on ethics and morals and what's right, and they truly see how big this game is, then we all get on the same page, and that's great. But the only person you can control and fix is you. People are now saying, well, what the fuck do we do? Who do we trust? Yourself. Don't even trust me. Trust yourself. Can you recognize truth? Can you accept the fact that you were fucking made in the image of God and God is all powerful? Do you not fucking get that? Did God fuck up when he made you and he held out on you and said, well, I'm not going to give this person any power? No, you're made in his image. And the irony of that is, it means we can create or we can destroy. We can be good or we can be bad or we can be apathetic. But man, you were given the power. And we all run around trying, pointing at everything else, pointing at the system, which we know is broke. And you're right, lazy people always accept another man's truth. And I've looked at it and go, you know what? I won't let myself down. I won't let myself down. I won't betray myself. I know what that feels like. I will hold the one person that matters to the highest standards, and that's me, because I can't hold other people to a high standard. They fucking let me down. I can't hold politicians to a standard because I can't control them and they let me down. But I know what? If I could set people free, just as the Bible says, it's all about truth and knowledge. That's it. Truth will set you free. That is the truism. When you can finally see it and finally see, man, you have a say, you have a voice, and you have a will. Then you got to get really focused. And the real focus is, am I focusing on the things that move the ball? Which is what took me to that next level. Evil thinks this out. And so evil will give you little bitty tasks where you think you're moving the ball. We got to get rid of Elon Omar. You're fucking not moving the ball. And that's when I kind of had the breakthrough on what's really going on. The evil knows that when we wake up and know we got to be ethical and we got to be true and we got to be warriors and accept our role in this and be uncompromised, then you also have to accept, just like in elections or everything else, evil leaves no stone unturned. None. None. And so just like they packaged themselves in this big fucking play we're talking about, like I told you, conservative media just moved into the vacuum of mainstream media, and they do the exact same stuff. Then I realized, wow, evil gives us all these assignments. It's a system. You're fucking right. Evil is a system. It's a fucking well-oiled, operating, motherfucking, dominating system. And then it dawned on me. You go to the pearly gates here in front of God. God asks you, what'd you do? You're not thinking, well, I followed this guy. Well, I did what this guy said. No, it's about you. Everything's about you. And it's the only one you can be accountable to. And then if you understand that we live in Satan's domain and that everything around us is orchestrated, and if we're really going to win, we got to get focused, then you understand it's about you, baby. Everything is like a massive building of doors. Everything, a massive building with all these doors. Okay? And I'll give you an example. Jennifer thought it was important here to say the word goddamn, that's offensive to God. It is not. That is a wrong application of the word. Goddamn meant God will damn you, not damn God. So you've been taught by the church that that's what it meant. What God actually taught, if you knew your theology, is they taught you for all the people that tell you they're holy, great, and Christians, they use that as a window dressing and don't operate right. That is what blasphemy is, not saying the word goddamn. Goddamn is not God be damned. It's an act. God will damn you. It's all in history. But your own definition of the word gets you offended and you'll turn off. You might even turn off just because I said that there. If things like that shock you, offend you, and make you turn away, you're already conquered. That's the whole thing. And it's only because of what you were told that meant, versus if you go back and study it and really understand it, what it actually meant. The saying is not, God be damned. It's not. Never has been. It was an emphatic statement. God's going to damn you. God has damned you. But you turned away from it. That used God's name in blasphemy. And then you don't even understand what God taught. God taught, don't say you're a Christian. And then fucking don't live it as a life. That's blasphemy. By the way, the only religion that actually truly takes into account that you've blasphemed is Islam, and they execute you for it. You embrace that theology too? Said, God damn. It's all a deception. It's all a deception. And you're right, the Hebrew to English translation is not correct. I've lost my voice, I'm sorry. It's us, folks. It's us. Everything's a play. We've been captured. I hope I can do my little part in a building with 1,000 doors. Crack open one door to allow you to see the inner workings of the machines behind the curtain. And you go, holy fuck. Because getting rid of Antifa, if we could and get rid of Antifa, nothing would happen. Let me tell you why. You already have the proof. You know why you already have the proof? Remember that bullshit Patriot Front? Supposedly they're white supremacists, blah, 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 blah. Did you notice that when Doge came in and cut off the funding, they disappeared? It's all play acting. Well, by the way, did you notice all the big anchors, MSNBC, big ass contracts, when they got rid of Doge funding them through USAID and discovered USAID was doing it? Did you notice all those guys lost their broadcast? play acting. I'm asking you to focus on what moves the needle. And that focus means you looking at yourself, looking in the mirror, getting very serious about what this is and understanding it's bigger than all of us. It's the system. And the only way we can affect the system is if we get clear on knowledge and we focus on the only thing that really can ultimately fix the system. And by the way, that's focusing on our elections properly. That's it. That's it. Which is why I have this 2 new mottos.
I don't give a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore.
Don't fuck with a fucked up fucker that doesn't give a single solitary fuck. This motherfucker's so far gone on the fuck off scale. They're practically a goddamn legend in the art of not giving a single flying fuck. Their fucks are so non-existent, you need a fucking microscope. Each step they take is a monument to the majesty of not giving a fuck. They walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts, charged with the sheer, unadulterated power of fuck off. People whisper, "That's the one, the motherfucker who ran out of fucks to give." So if you ever find yourself with half this colossal titan of fucklessness, just remember, you're in the presence of royalty, the kind of royalty that sits upon a throne of broken fucks, waving their scepter of shit not given with a grace that make lesser beings weak. But beware, for challenging such a fucker invites a shitstorm of indifference so fierce, it'll make you choke on your own goddamn fucks. And let's be real here, you can't afford that shit. Nobody's got that many fucks to spare. Keep fucking shit up and spread chaos like a boss.
You're our voice, Jovan, we thank you for what you're fighting for. You're our warrior. You are brave like a lion. You're David fighting Goliath, couldn't ask for more. You're our warrior. Think of what you've done for you, for me, for our country. You'll go down in history as our warrior. You lead by God and always do what's right. In the battle for our nation, you lead the fight. We pray for your safety, the armor of God to protect you from all of us. Here's a thank you for all that you do. You are courage, you're our voice, Jovan, we thank you for what you're fighting for. You're our warrior. You are brave like a lion. You're David fighting Goliath, couldn't ask for more. You're our warrior. Think of what you've done for you, for me, for our country. You'll go down in history as our warrior. Jovan, you're a hero we stand behind. We're inspired by the fire inside your eyes. American proud, we know you'll fight till your dying day, and we'll always stand behind you through everything. You are courage, you're our voice. Jovan, we thank you for what you're fighting for. You're our warrior. You are brave like a lion. You're David fighting Goliath, couldn't ask for more. You're our warrior. Think of what you've done for you, for me, for our country. You'll go down in history as our